Good morning. I've been up for about an hour. I am peeing clear, which is the green light for me to now take a sample of my blood using this home test kit, which I'm then going to mail in to a pathology lab who are going to give me an insight into a vital pillar of my cycling performance, that being my blood, because after so much inactivity, after injury, I want to be more objective about how I'm doing now so that I can make better decisions about what I'm going to do next in order to improve my cycling performance. Because I don't want to be guessing with such a key pillar of my cycling performance when, with the prick of a finger, I can just be way more objective. Isaiah's going to come back in the next 48 hours with B12, full blood count, testosterone, and an iron profile. Welcome back. The results are in. I've got them in front of me now. I haven't seen them yet. I'm going to go through them for the first time with you, let you know what they mean specifically to my cycling, but also to my wider health in general. And also if there's anything in my diet and lifestyle I'm going to change in order to improve the scores towards the next blood test in future. The first thing I'm going to be looking for across the board in all my blood markers is healthy ranges. As I start to jump on the bike more, I'm going to be inflicting more hypoxia on my body, low oxygen that my body is going to want to adapt to by packing in more red blood cells, which is exactly what I want it to do. But if I'm low on one of these key blood markers, then it means that I'm just not going to be able to form the healthy red blood cells that I should be, and I'm going to be hitting a brick wall. So this is why I get blood tested, is so that I can be more objective about these key blood markers so that I can do something about them if they're low to redress the balance and be more effective, not just in my cycling specifically, but also in my daily life in general. First up, we've got B12 Active, which is the measure that I find most useful of the two, being B12 total or B12 active. B12 is indirectly responsible for the formation of red blood cells, works with folic acid and also iron function, and if you don't have enough B12 stored in your body, then red blood cells are either not going to form or be malformed as you start to especially push yourself through intense bouts of exercise. Your body's going to try and adapt to the hypoxia, and you just, as it tries to pack in more red blood cells, it's not going to be able to, or like I said, those red blood cells are going to be malformed, and that is not what you want. So you want to be within the healthy range on your B12, and I am. In fact, I have the B12 of Satan, 66.6. That's not a bad omen. That's just a coincidence. And we are within the healthy range, which is exactly where we want to be, and it is expected. I haven't supplemented B12 for nearly 4 months now, and what I'm going to do in order to improve the scores next time is, after this video, now that I have had the test done, I am going to supplement B12, subcutaneous injection, bypass the gut, so that I can guarantee that I'm going to have a B12 level on the high end of the healthy range in the next test. Hemoglobin is the protein responsible for carrying oxygen to the working muscle, so the more hemoglobin you have, the more oxygen you can carry to that working muscle. So you want to have a healthy range hemoglobin at least, which is what I'm looking for, and you can see here this is to be expected, as your body is only ever going to adapt to be as efficient as it needs to be. And as I've had this period of inactivity, there is no need for my blood, my hemoglobin, to be 16.8 grams per deciliter. Looking back to August last year, which was also a period of inactivity, I was 15.2 then. So this, for me, as long as I'm healthy, it should be around 15.2. And I haven't really done much exercise. So yeah, there is no need for my body to have done any kind of adaptation other than 15.2 grams per deciliter. This healthy range score is a good base for me to build on as I start to push my body through intense exercise, because if I was unhealthy with my hemoglobin, I just wouldn't be able to even do the exercise that I should be able to in order to meet my ambition on the bike. And pushing yourself, in fact, through exercise with a hemoglobin outside of the healthy range is actually probably not a good idea, and you should give yourself a break in order to do something else in your diet and lifestyle to redress the balance. So probably something like increase the amount of iron that you're intaking on a daily basis and not using that up trying to push yourself through exercise. So hematocrit is the proportion of your blood that is made up of red blood cells, and this result here is within the healthy ranges. It's to be expected with the amount of inactivity that I've had. My body shouldn't really be adapting to have a high hematocrit right now. There's no reason to. So it's only ever going to be as efficient as it needs to be, and it's also a good base upon which I can build towards increasing my fitness. Alright, so on to ferritin iron. Ferritin stores and releases iron in the body when it needs it. So ferritin levels are a good indicator of your body's general iron status. So if your ferritin levels are low, then it can mean that you just need to up your intake of iron per day. It can also be an indicator of iron deficiency. So this is my go-to measurement for my iron status. You can also use it in conjunction with TIBC and UIBC in order to get a better general picture of your iron status in your body. But yeah, ferritin iron is my go-to, and here we can see I'm within the healthy ranges. I have a good foundation upon which I can build my next training block, because if I was low on iron, then yeah, there's no point in me pushing myself through exercise that is going to deplete my stores further, and I'm just not going to be able to form the healthy red blood cells that I need to if I don't have the iron. And in fact, what I might do in my diet and lifestyle is increase my uptake of iron through spirulina. And I've been taking in around 20 grams per day of fresh frozen spirulina. And I think I might up that to 40, especially as I start to ramp up my intensity. So finally, on to testosterone. Testosterone responsible for muscle strength, mass, general male well-being and health. And you can see here that I'm within the healthy ranges, which is fantastic. It means this is a solid foundation upon which I can build my fitness into the future. Mindful again of the fact that in order to maintain this equilibrium, as all my blood markers will get depleted as I start to fatigue my body more, I need to just be mindful that I'm giving my body equal rest and replenishment in order to maintain this equilibrium. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward. In conclusion, my body is only ever going to be adapting to be as efficient as it needs to be, and this block of inactivity that I've had post-injury, firstly, I'm glad that these blood results show that the injury didn't interfere with red blood cell production, and that I'm within my healthy ranges, that my body is as efficient as it needs to be. This is to be expected. If my hemoglobin, my hematocrit was skyrocketing and I hadn't done anything to warrant that, then that would be worrying, and it would also be worrying if my hemoglobin hematocrit was outside of the healthy ranges because perhaps something in the injury, some inflammation, had, for example, interfered with the red blood cell production process. So I've got the iron, I've got the B12, I've got the testosterone, all where I want them, so that I can ramp up the intensity and reap the rewards, because if I was outside of the healthy ranges on any of these key blood markers, there would be no rewards to reap, and I would just be bashing up against a brick wall. This is why I get blood tested, to be more objective, more effective, to have more fun on my bike, because generally the fitter I am, the more mountains I can slay and the more fun I have. So if you've got any questions about anything I've talked about in this video, I always love reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.